What's up, guys? Welcome back to Natalie's Reptile. Today, this is Rose, Natalie, and this is the co-host,
Kevin.
And then this is our special host,
Special guest, Polka Dot.
Special guest, Polka Dot.
What's up, guys? Today we are getting back into our enclosure build videos, and by our special guest here, can you guess whose enclosure we're doing today?
Because every time we do enclosures, we hold them for the intro, and this is the intro.
Exactly right. And it was just a few weeks ago we actually did the care video on the leopard gecko, which they can watch right here. Right above you, remember?
No, they can't.
Magic.
Okay.
And then just a little update on Polka Dot here. She is doing awesome. She is eating, she is growing. What do you think?
Good, and she's been really good.
She is. She's a very good leopard gecko.
And she's been growing.
Oh yeah, you've seen how many times, which you guys may notice, she actually just shed.
Yeah, and
her colors are really
guys,
pop.
do you know that they eat their shed?
Yep, they'll eat their shed. That's why we never see any of her shed anywhere in the enclosure. Quick little side note, guys, if you are already subscribed, they've probably already seen, but we're starting like monthly update videos on all of our scaly little pets. So each month we'll do like a little update in shorts. So if you guys would consider subscribing, and you can certainly stay up to date with our adventures and our scaly little buddies.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Yeah, and he is awesome.
She is
and
awesome.
Guys, we appreciate, we appreciate all of you that subscribe, and thank you, guys.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so just a reminder, Natalie and I also in the description below put all of the products and details that we're going to use for the enclosure down there. So if you guys want any of those things yourself, you can check it out right there in the description. Where you going, girlie? Is you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Alright guys, so as always, Natalie and I are going to go over the enclosure itself, heating and lighting, substrate, and enrichment. What is enrichment for?
For them to hide.
To hide, to play with, and kind of make them feel like they're in a more natural environment. So starting with the enclosure, this is a 34-inch by 18-inch by 9-inch enclosure, which all in all comes out to a 24-gallon enclosure. In our actual care video for Polka Dot, we mentioned that we, and I'm sure yourselves, have seen someone keep a leopard gecko in a 10-gallon tank. As you're about to see, a 10-gallon tank is absolutely too small for a leopard gecko. When we get into heat, hides, and enrichments, you will see it's nearly impossible to get all of this in a 10-gallon tank. A 20-gallon tank would be the minimum. And this is a good sized tank for her, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we actually got this tank?
No.
We got that at a Reptile Expo.
And they had bearded dragons.
Yeah, that was the one we went up to in Pennsylvania. We also mentioned in our care video that leopard geckos are not arboreal. She's not a sticky gecko, as you call them, right?
Yeah. And she doesn't, like...
She doesn't climb on the walls and the glass and all that, right?
Yeah, and if she did, she would have been like...
Oh yeah, she'd get out real easy, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she would have been like...
So, I mean, when it comes to picking the right enclosure, you should focus on ground space, length and width, rather than climbing space, height. Yeah. Which I think made this enclosure absolutely perfect. It's not too tall, but it's more for like ground space, which is exactly what she needed. In that care video, we also go over that when it comes to a lizard you will be handling and socializing, you're going to want a front opening enclosure. Do you remember why?
Why?
A front opening enclosure. Why is that better?
Because they don't feel like something's reaching in from the above, and it's like a predator or a bird trying to grab them and eat them or hold them.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So this is a front opening enclosure. It's pretty cool. It came with the locks that just self-lock.
Yeah.
And we only added this in here because we had something else in here originally.
Yeah, and then we can do that to make it come.
Exactly. That made it more secure. But you're exactly right. All right, now on to heating and lighting. In our care video, we also explained why heat mat or heat tape is more beneficial to leopard geckos. Compared to, let's say, like a bearded dragon, leopard geckos aren't really a basking species. Rather than a bearded dragon who is active during the day, usually found on something elevated like a fence post to actually bask, leopard geckos are crepuscular, meaning they're active during dusk and dawn, where rather than basking, they're collecting residual heat from the ground up. Belly heat, which helps them digest their food, right?
Yes.
And that's good for them. This is also one of the reasons leopard geckos don't need UVB. Natalie and I always need to stress the importance of two things with heat mats. One, it always goes on the outside of the tank, not the inside of the enclosure. So kind of as you can see from here, how this thing was made is it's actually got a space cut out for a heat mat. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of the benefits of this thing too, was it has the heat mat area already on it.
Guys, there's a quick end there.
And number two is you always need a thermostat with a heat mat. Always, always, always. What we have on ours is, not sure how to pronounce this, Aliciu, but they're generally cheap and they usually come in a combo of like the heat pad and the thermostat combo. And a link for that will be in the description as well. As far as the actual temperatures, one of the biggest reasons that a 10-gallon tank won't work is because you need a proper heat gradient. You will need a hot side of 90 to 95 degrees, an ambient temperature of 80 to 85 degrees, and then the cool side should be between 70 and 75 degrees. They like that heat, don't they?
Yeah.
I think that's what she's looking for right now.
Yeah. He's like, where's my heat?
Where's my heat? Having a range of temperatures like this, which is absolutely needed for your gecko to thermoregulate their body, would be nearly impossible in a 10-gallon tank. So you know what Daddy means by like this would be the hot side and then it tapers down onto the cool side?
Yeah.
If we had a really small tank, something like half the size of this, it would be hard to get those like two different sides.
Yeah, look. Daddy, do this. That's only a little bit, right?
Right, and then if you go over here, it's a lot warmer. All right, and on to substrate. Natalie, what is an absolute no-go for substrate?
Calcium?
Calcium what?
Calcium sand.
Calcium sand. You're absolutely right. Calcium sand can lead to things like impaction and stuck shed, which can cause your leopard gecko to lose toes. What we use is a topsoil and play sand mix. The main difference between calcium sand and play sand is calcium can stick and clump together, so when ingested, it essentially causes a blockage. Play sand does not do this, making it passable, but in our opinion, we wouldn't use too much of it, play sand or calcium sand at all. We do like a 70 to 80% topsoil to like 30 to 20% play sand. Definitely if you don't feel comfortable with that, some other options would be like Repticarpet, sand mats, slate and tile, or even paper towels and newspaper work perfectly fine. But when people hear they come from like Afghanistan, Iran, most people would pick all sand for a substrate.
You've been at Afghanistan.
Yes, I have. And I can tell you from experience, it's not all a desert. There are many different environments all over there.
Yeah, and there's probably like 1 million of leopard geckos there.
Yes, I bet you there are. And now on to hides. How many hides should a leopard gecko have?
2, 3.
3.
So
exactly.
one has to be on the, so 2 has to be on the warm end, and then 1 has to be on the cool end.
Yes, you are right. They will need a hide on, like Natalie said, the hot end, the cool end, and they will also need a humidity hide. The humidity hide is very important for a couple reasons. One, stuck shed can cause a few health concerns with leopard geckos. It can actually cut off the circulation in their toes and cause them to lose their toes, so the humidity hide will help them fully shed. And 2, although you should also give them a water dish, leopard geckos will mainly only drink droplets of water, mainly from when you spray them down. But water collecting in the humidity hide is a great place for them to get a drink. Do you remember how we made this humidity hide?
Yeah.
So we just took a plain Jane Tupperware container, cut a section of it out so that she can go in and out of it, filled the inside with moss, and then you just keep the top right on it, and you can spray that moss down.
Yeah.
But Natalie and I also added the tapes on the edges because we couldn't really get a good clean cut on it, and we don't want her scratching herself up as she goes in and out of it.
Yeah, what if she like...
Yeah, gets poked.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and put the hides in. That'll be the next part.
So first I'm gonna dig a little hole for it. Right there for her. That's what I'm gonna do for her.
And then I'll hand you the next parts.
And then keep putting it in. And there it is.
Perfect. And here's the next one.
And then,
I will put that one on the cool end.
and guys, they need 2 hides. Like I said, there's 1.
And here is the next one.
And here's 2. This one can go on that edge.
Right under the heat pad.
And then right here.
Perfect.
And then now 1 more hide.
Nope, that's all 3. Very good. And we are also going to put in her calcium bowl and water bowl.
And guys, I'm sorry we just forgot to show you.
There you go.
And now food bowl.
Perfect. And finally, enrichment. Enrichment can be described simply as mentally and physically stimulating your reptile, adding things to it. Being in a cage can get pretty boring. You want to add things that they will engage with, make them use their brain, and exercise with physically.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and start putting in the other stuff.
Dad, I'm gonna put this on the top. So
Oh, you gotta hold one plant.
huh?
Here's these, if you want to put those in. I put one on each side.
Okay, so that one can go with this just a minute.
Okay.
So this one can go. Now. No. And then there we go.
Oh, there's these. And then we also got some plants from the dollar store. So we're just going to use this for some more foliage.
Okay.
That's looking beautiful. I think she's going to like it.
Yeah, but we have to take
And
it.
then last we have the, what is it? The cork bark.
Now this.
Probably put that like right around the middle.
There we go. That good?
Very good. That's perfect.
Oh, I know. Since she likes to go in just one side, there we go.
Yep. And this can be anything from adding plants to make them think they're in the wild, to hide in, things to climb, give them variety in their diet, hiding their food. We actually seen a video where they were using like a wicker ball and placing food in it for a green tree monitor. And you know how much we love green tree monitors.
Yeah.
And it is so cool watching them use their brain and interact with that. There's another YouTuber, I'll actually put the link down in the description, Bailey's Pets. I think that's the name. But we actually seen him, he was using these like kids play toys and putting food in it, and his now monitor was going through it. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's a good idea.
That is really good. But whatever it is, enrichment can directly affect your animal's well-being. But that looks good. You did an awesome job. And now, back to you, living room Kevin and Natalie.
Yeah.
Thank you, reptile room Kevin and Natalie. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and here's our little shark.
And we got a shark with us. Alright guys, that does it for our Leopard Gecko Enclosure video. If you guys would want, Natalie and I would think it would be awesome to actually see some of the enclosures that you guys have your leopard geckos in. Any additional information you would recommend to us to add to ours, or you just want to add some information. Definitely comment down below and send us some of your stuff our way on any one of our social media pages. I'd like to see how other people do their leopard gecko enclosures. That'd be cool.
And you guys are the best at doing it.
Yes, they are. So if you guys found this informative or just enjoyed the video, make sure to leave us a like and consider subscribing for the rest of our enclosure videos. And we've still got a lot more reptiles to show.
Yeah.
I'm excited for them.
And there's a blue splinter on me.
Ooh, splinter. We'll fix it. Alright, see you on the next video, guys.
See you on
Bye.
the next video.